Good evening, everybody. You're very welcome to our CAO information session this evening here at TU Dublin. We're delighted to have so many of you here, and I hope you're going to find the next hour really useful as you prepare to fill out your CAO forms. My name is Mairead Murphy, and I'm Head of Recruitment, Admissions and Participation at TU Dublin. And I'm joined today by some of our students and also by my colleagues in our school liaison and recruitment team. Our session is going to take place for about 1 hour, and we are going to start to do a short presentation for you based on our experience of working with students completing the CAO form and process over the last couple of years. So there's going to be a lot of top tips for you that I hope you're going to find useful. Once that presentation is over, we're going to meet 4 of our students who are with us and hoping to share some experience and advice with you today. They're going to tell you who they are, the course they're doing, and a little bit about how they decided to pursue that particular course of study. And they've got a variety of experience to share with you. Some of them were very sure about what they wanted to study. Some are studying now what they love, but they maybe started out on a different route, and they'll give you a bit of advice about that. The chat is going to be open for questions. So if you have any questions throughout the presentation or the discussion, please pop them into the chat and we'll do our best to answer them. And some of them we may be able to put to our students. So look, again, just to say thank you very much for joining us. I'm going to hand over to my colleague Linda is going to take you through the presentation. Throughout the presentation, if you have any questions, pop them into the chat.
So guys, just to introduce us, TU Dublin, we are the first technological university in the country, but we are not the first, recently joined by a few more. Technological universities are well established all over the globe. So you'll see technological universities in places like Australia, all across Europe, and indeed in the States as well. Some big names, for example, MIT in Boston is a technological university. And, you know, presenting a technological university qualification means that your qualification is recognizable all over the world. So that's really beneficial for our students because, you know, the globe is so small now. It's very different to what it would have been before. I've already explained to you that we are the largest university in the country. We have 3,500 staff members and just under 30,000 students. As you can see, we have students from many, many countries all over the globe. TU Dublin is a very multicultural organisation, and we have students not only from Dublin, but from all over Ireland. TU Dublin is based in 5 locations across Dublin, and 3 of those locations are in Dublin city centre, and one is in Blanchardstown and one is in Tala. So you can just see there some of the other technological universities across the globe. These are our locations, and I suppose just in terms of filling out your CAO form, it's really, really important that you understand the location that you're looking to come to in TU Dublin. TU Dublin was designed to facilitate students in Dublin and the greater Dublin area, as well as the surrounding counties. And that means that it's accessible. And we invite you to really think about, you know, when you're filling out your CAO form, to think about, you know, how you're going to get to the location, etc. Because a lot of our courses are repeated across the campuses. So really what that means for you is that, you know, you should be able to pick something that suits you, you know, that's easy enough to commute to. Here's our new campus then in Grange Gorman and our Tala campus. Sports and leisure at TU Dublin is also very big. You can see just some of the different clubs that we have going on here. Sports is really big. You know, we run an elite program for those of you that might be interested in that. But this is just, you know, a small scale overview of some of the sports that we offer in the university. You know, there's so many different opportunities for you. And guys, it's not just at elites. We offer sports at all levels. That's from, you know, starting off to, you know, elites. So really we encourage students, come in and try something maybe that they never tried before. This is where you're going to meet all of your friends. These are just some of our societies. I know our dance society is really big. We've won lots of awards there. But if that's not your thing, again, there's lots of different opportunities for you. You see, we've just some of them that we have there: chess, DJ society, astronomy, should I say. And guys, if there's a society that you're interested in and we don't have it, you can actually set up your own one, and we'll fund you and we'll assist you with all of that. So, you know, there's lots of opportunities for that too. These are the types of supports that we offer at TU Dublin, and we're really, really strong in this area. We pick up the baton from your guidance counsellors when you come to university. So when you're in school and you're kind of choosing the area that you want to come to, your guidance counsellor is looking at all the universities in the country. They're looking at all the different disciplines. At TU Dublin, our career guidance counsellors or our career service are specialists in discipline areas and know, you know, in full detail, each of our courses, you know, the areas that they progress to, you know, which companies they will work with, etc. And we have so many contacts with industry guys, and you know, it's going to make such a difference for you. You know, they will come in, they'll do class visits, but you can also book an hour with them every so often, and they will give you guidance onto the next step, whether it be, you know, looking for your work experience, or whether it be, you know, filling out your CV, etc. So you'll get a lot of guidance at TU Dublin. Our health centre is free for students, and so, you know, all the time students will get sick. So, you know, you have your free health centre. Really, we're all about wellness and looking after our students. Financial aid and accommodation. We have our own accommodation platform. It's like a mini student daft. So if you're interested, you know, in accommodation, by all means, there's lots on offer, you know, and it's across the spectrum to private accommodation, you know, living with somebody, you know, in a house share for the first year, etc. So we have all of that, and we have people to support you with those decisions as well. And if you want to find out more about that, you can go to our website. Our Maths Learning Centre, similar to Maths Grinds nearly. If you have, you know, certain issues with maths problems and you need some extra help, you can go along there and you can get help there. Our disability service is there for students with a disability, and they will provide extra support for you. Counselling service, again, students may run into difficulties, you know, along the way, personal difficulties, lots of things happen in your life, and our counselling service is on hand there to help you with that. Finally, just to mention our academic writing centre, it's really a great support for students. When you come to college, you know, a lot of the work that you will do will probably be academic essays, and you need to reference them, you need to structure them. Go along to the Academic Writing Centre. They're going to give you so many tips and, you know, sit down with you and really help you design your essays and, you know, understand how to structure them. And that's going to make such a difference to your grades. Again, a free service. This is what we're offering at TU Dublin. It's very extensive. You've already seen that we're one of the biggest, or the biggest university in the country, but we're offering 166 courses at undergraduate level at TU Dublin across 12 disciplines. So disciplines are really general areas that we offer. And the number of programs that we offer, you can see there, at level 6-7, we offer 66 options. Guys, every single one of those level 6-7 programs has a pathway to level 8. Okay, it's extraordinary how successful students are coming in on 6-7 and on to level 8. We've 100 level 8 honours degree programs then running as well. So as you can see, significant choice at TU Dublin. Just to guide you there on our disciplines, you'll see here the kind of areas that we offer at TU Dublin. So you can see up there, architecture, built environment. Built environment is the built world around us. So you're thinking about things like construction, surveying. Then you have the creative arts, design and media. TU Dublin, the biggest provider of the creative arts in the country. I know it mightn't come to mind when you think of a technological university, but that is the case. And media in there. So you have things like journalism in there and film and broadcasting. Business is a huge discipline at TU Dublin, taught across 3 locations in Tala, Blanchardstown and in Aungier Street, as is computing. and IT, data analytics and mathematics then. Engineering, our biggest discipline, is taught across 4 locations at TU Dublin. Culinary, hospitality and tourism, music and drama, the sciences, again, another big discipline at the university, environmental programs, social sciences and early childhood care and education, and then our sports programs. So as you can see, we have a wide range of different programs on offer at the university. We also have a dedicated digital CAO Hub. A couple of years ago, we made a decision to try and be more sustainable in the way we work. Our prospectus was really, really large, about 350 pages. So we decided, to go down a more sustainable pathway and build our prospectus into a digital hub. Something that kind of brings you through the whole student experience at TU Dublin. So if you want to find out more, go on there, tudublin.ie/CAO, and I would advise you to write that down and take that with you and have a look after this evening. I've already mentioned to you very slightly at the front end there about our progression system. The progression system at TU Dublin is really, really successful, and many students, including some of our lecturers, have come through this progression route. So just to explain to you what that is, level 6 higher certificate. At the moment, you're doing your leaving cert, and your leaving cert is a level 5 qualification. Next step up then is a higher certificate at level 6, followed by level 7 ordinary degree, level 8 honours bachelor's degree, and then that would move you onwards then if you wanted to go on to masters and PhD and all of that, which we also offer, but we're not discussing that today. So there's plenty of opportunity at TU Dublin for you to come in at the level that you're ready for. And guys, bear in mind that students mature at different stages in their life, at different ages. Some people really excel when they come to college because they come into a program that they really love. It's much more practical. They really get it. They're maybe not studying as many subjects that they don't really like and all that kind of stuff. So pick what's relevant to you and what level you're at, and then come in and progress. As I said, every single course at level 6 and 7 has a progression route in the university. Just explain that there. So this is just how this works. Higher certificate, at the end of the 2 years, if you do a level 6, you can go off into employment, and some students will do that. It is a very good standalone qualification. Students will go off and do that. Some students, may never come back to us. Other students will come back later on, even part-time, and they will come back and study at level 7 or level 8. Ordinary bachelor degree then is 3 years. Again, if you choose to do that, you can go into employment after the 3 years. Honours bachelor's degree, 4 years, and then employment. Or you can again progress into your master's or your PhD if that's what you're interested in. But guys, just remember, for you, it's lifelong. Learning is going to be lifelong, and there's careers out there, or there's careers that you're going to work in that haven't even, come about yet. They're not even invented yet. So what TU Dublin does that's different to other universities is we allow you to build the qualification that suits you. We're not, forcing you into 4 years or whatever. You can come into 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever suits you, whatever level you want to come in at, that, you can do that. Just an example here of progression and how it might work for you. Last year, for example, TU 922 marketing at level 8 came in at 412 points. You would have needed 3 H5s to gain the minimum entry requirements for that programme, and you would have needed an 06 or a H7 in maths and English or Irish, the 04 H6. On the other hand, if you came in at the level 6, you could have come in on 301 points with just a minimum number of subjects of 5. No honours grades required, and there you can just see your maths and English Irish at 06 H7. So that's quite significant, okay? But if you come in and do your higher certificate at level 6 for 2 years and you achieve sufficient grades in your second year exam, you can go straight into third year of the level 8. So technically you can still finish at the exact same time as the other students that came straight into level 8. So I just want you to absorb that and really think about that. Okay, that is a really, really, great opportunity for some students who, really excel maybe at practical things and, maybe aren't confident about the Leaving Cert, or, you could get nervous on the day. Fill out every single space on that CAO form. Strategize it. If you love marketing, make sure you have it level 8, level 6, and level 7. So make the most of your CAO application form, just as I've been saying there. You have 20 spaces on the course. You have 10 at level 8 and 10 at level 6, 7. Your choices on one list do not affect your choices on the other list. So basically what will happen on the day of the CAO offers is, if you have the points, you'll get a level 8 offer and you will get a level 6, 7 offer based on your 2 lists. And you can decide from both of those which one you prefer. Really think about your list and think about the genuine preferences. Try not to think about the points. And I know that's very, you might be saying to yourself, oh, I think I can get this, so I'm definitely not going to list that. List your courses in order of genuine preference, because points go up and down every single year. And, we've seen quite significant rises and drops in points over the years. So really list what you want in first place and, taper off then, because you just never know how you'll get on the day. I was actually at a talk there quite recently, and the girl was like, I did significantly better in my Leaving Cert than I had expected to. Okay, so this does happen, guys. So make sure that you do that. Make sure that you apply for the 1st of February for any courses marked restricted in the CAO handbook. Many of those are portfolio programs where we will need to assess your portfolio. So if you're thinking anything kind of in the creative arts realm at TU Dublin, or maybe in the architecture area, make sure that you get them onto your CAO form by the 1st of February. Always check your CAO communication or your communication with the CAO. An important tip from us as admissions staff: many students last year were disappointed in round 1 with no offer because the information that they had supplied on their CAO form was correct, and they weren't either receiving emails, they hadn't put their Leaving Cert exam number on it, or their PPS number. You really, really need to double and treble check that, because it is your responsibility. And, if we fill the course in the first round, we can't offer you a place in the next round. You'd have to wait for the next year unless you want to do something else. So please, 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 I can't stress that enough, that you double check your correspondence from the CAO, and just make sure that they're not going into spam or anything like that. If the CAO are corresponding with you, just keep an eye out for that. We talked a little bit about this already, the best way to fill out your courses. So this is the formula for filling out your CAO, and I'm sure many of your guidance counsellors have discussed this with you already. Your dream courses are going from around 1 to 3 or 4. The realistic courses, then, the ones that you think you'll definitely get the points for, you're kind of pretty sure you will, go in there from around 3 to around 7 or 8, and then the banker courses are the ones that you know for sure that you will get. So really, this is a really good formula, and have a think about that again when filling out your CAO form. Your main considerations: if your program is restricted, apply by the 1st of February. Make sure you consider the location. Guys, if you apply, for example, to Tala, but you had meant to apply to Blanchardstown, and all of a sudden you have a place in Tala and you can't get to Tala easily, it's not as easy as us just swapping you from one campus to the other. That isn't the way it works. So you need to be really, really particular when you're filling out your CAO form that you have double checked the location. Again, make sure you put your courses in genuine order of preference. And if you're eligible for the HERE scheme, which is for students from socio-economically difficult backgrounds, make sure you get your application in for that early, as if you were a student for the DARE scheme, which is for students with disabilities. So again, TU Dublin accepts students from both of those schemes. We offer students a 12.5% discount on points to put them on a par with other students coming into the university. As I already explained to you at the start, TU Dublin is multicultural, it's diverse. We value that diversity of students across our campuses. At TU Dublin, our mission statement is about solving the world problems, and we need people from all different backgrounds to do that. So make sure if you're a student from those backgrounds, we really want to have you with us. These are key dates for the CAO. The early bird application is the 20th of January. Normal closing date then is the 1st of February. So guys, you'd want to be working on that CAO form now, realistically, and just give yourself a little bit of time. The closing date for late applications then is the 1st of May, but there is a charge for that. But the change of mind does reopen on the 5th of May. So if you finalise your CAO form for the 1st of February and then you think that you want to change things around, you do have that opportunity later in the season to do that. Mature students and QQI students, again, both cohorts, very, very welcome to TU Dublin. We do take in a number from of matures and QQI students every year. So we are offering we reserve places on all of our courses in the university for students, both mature and QQI students. So if you're thinking maybe of doing a QQI program, or if you are a QQI student, this is a really, really valuable route. TU Dublin offer well over 1,500 places to QQI students every year. So there's lots of opportunities for you there. And yes, it is a very tried, tested and, very good route. Just to mention, we are having a mature student event on the 26th of January at 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. And again, you can register at the same link, tudublin.ie/open day, if you have an interest in that. So thank you for that. I'm going to pass you back to Mairead now.
Thank you, Linda. I'm going to ask now maybe for our students to join us. So I'm going to ask Jack, Gillian, Ashley and Shalini to turn on their cameras. Great. Nice to see you all. Thank you so much. That's great. Thank you all for being here. And I know for most of you, not for Gillian, you've been doing exams and I think they're all finished now. So I just want to say at the end of your exam period, thank you very much for taking the time to join us today. We're delighted you're here and looking forward to chatting to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Gillian. Gillian has actually finished her studies and is working at TU Dublin. So I'm going to get Gillian to introduce herself. So Gillian, just your name, the course you studied, and maybe a little bit about why you chose that course. I'll go to the next student. Thank you, Gillian.
So hi and good evening to everyone. My name is Gillian, as Mairead was saying, and I have finished my course. I did sports management and coaching starting in 2017, and I've just graduated back in October. So the reason why I chose sports management and coaching was because I had an interest in general sports. I thought that kind of furthering my knowledge in both gym-based and field-based kind of coaching would be beneficial for me. So yeah, I thought that the practical elements of the course was great as well. I'm a very practical, hands-on type of person. You'll never really see me sitting down reading a book for a while. So I thought that the kind of split between like business and sport coaching, practical, hands-on sort of thing would suit me to the T sort of thing.
Very good, very good. Thank you, Gillian. And now, Ashley, I'm going to go to you. Ashley, you are in your final year of studies now, and maybe you tell people a little bit about what you're studying and maybe how you ended up in applied social studies. Thanks, Ashley.
No problem. I just apologise in advance if you can hear my dog snoring. I can't get her to stop, so if you hear it in the background, I apologise.
Okay.
Yeah, so my name is Ashley. I am in my final year. I'm doing an honours degree in applied social care in TU Dublin. And I got to my place because in the beginning I applied to something and it didn't gel with me really. And I gave myself some time to figure it out, and I decided that it wasn't something I wanted to do. I wanted to go into the caring profession. So I took some time out, discovered myself, and now I'm nearly finished my current course. So obviously it was the right decision in the end. So my course is 4 years long. I've done 2 student placements so far. I finished my last one in 3rd year. I just finished my second last bit of exams, which is crazy to me. And I'm really enjoying my time in TU Dublin, and I love my course.
Great, great. I'll come back to you, Ashley. We'll talk a little bit about how the comments you made about your lecturers and the close connections you have with them. But what I'll do now is I'm going to go to Jack. Jack, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. And maybe you'll introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you're studying.
Yeah, my name's Jack O'Regan Kenny. I'm in 2nd year of mechatronic engineering. I'm on the Blanchardstown campus, and I kind of knew what I wanted to do from about halfway through secondary school. I was always doing Coder Dojo or BT Young Scientist or SciFest, so I knew very quickly what I wanted to do, and that was engineering. And from there, I knew I liked mechanical and electronics, so the mechatronic course was a nice blend of both, and I kind of knew exactly what I wanted straight away.
Okay, great, great. We might come back and talk about that, Jack, a bit later as well, because some students are very clear about what they want to do, and for other students, they don't have that clear idea, but they still know they want to go to college and they have to choose something, and that can be challenging as well. So I'm going to go to Shalini now. Shalini, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. And maybe you'll tell us a little bit about your course and what you're studying.
Well, I'm doing business and IT, and I'm in 3rd year right now. So I think when I was choosing courses, I didn't know which kind of career I wanted to do. So I was very confused on what kind of course to choose. And I think that was a really difficult time for me, especially at the end of 6th year, where everyone knew what they wanted to do. But I was interested in like a variety of subjects. Like I was doing accounting, I was doing biology and chemistry, and they're like completely irrelevant to each other. And I ended up in business and IT somehow. Plus, I like doing art in my own time, like painting. So I had no idea like which to choose for my career, and I think that was very difficult. But I did like consider my parents' advice. They were saying how I should go to IT because they were doing IT too, and they were saying how it has more scope. But that didn't really appeal to me, and then I looked over some business articles and I found business quite interesting. And I've done that for Junior Cert 2 business studies. So I ended up choosing business and IT. And I think I chose the right course because it's very interesting. I think I find a lot of things interesting. So but business and IT seems to be like the course I'd like to do, or like the career path I'd like to choose.
Very good, very good. Thank you all. That's very interesting, and very different perspective and backgrounds that you all have, how you found your way to your particular course. So what I was going to do was maybe Ashley, maybe talk to you a little bit about the placements that you've been on and what your hopes are when you graduate, because you've 1 semester left at TU Dublin and then you'll be going into the world of work.
Yeah, so I did my first placement in 2nd year and the 2nd and 3rd year. So there was 2 semesters in my 4 years here that I actually wasn't on campus at all. That's good and bad in a way. I missed seeing my friends and stuff, but it was a great experience. In TU Dublin, mostly, they're very accommodating when you're going on placement. They take into consideration your needs, your wants, your geographical location. So I was always placed somewhere I was able to get to where I wanted to go, what social care sector I wanted to be in. So I've worked in a homeless hostel, I've worked in a mental health day service, and then through those experiences, I actually have 2 social care jobs at the moment. So I work in intellectual disability, and I also work for TUSLA, which is the HSE. So without those 2 experiences and TU Dublin's help, I wouldn't be so experienced already. and I'm going to be very employable now when I leave TUD with that type of experience.
Very good, very good. And Gillian, I'm interested to be talking about that work experience piece that Ashley talked about. And I know you also were able to combine your studies and some part-time work as well. That's very relevant to your future career hopes.
Yeah, so back in first year, the lecturers would always send us kind of jobs that they've been sent on through their contacts. So in first year, I was sent on a job opportunity over in the Sport Ireland campus, which was kind of the home of sport in Ireland. Another thing is, like, it's here in the Blanchardstown campus, it's about a 5-10 minute walk away. So how I finished college in the evening times, it was kind of made to be applying for the job, as when I finished my college in the evening times, I could just walk over, and it kind of made the kind of work study balance a lot easier. So yeah, the opportunity that I was given was through doing my course here in TU Dublin.
Very good, very good. Thank you. Now, Jack, you're making opportunities for yourself at the moment. You're an entrepreneur, and you've been listed in was it last weekend, the Sunday Business Post 30 under 30 to watch. So that's putting you under pressure. But so you also availed of some opportunities in TU Dublin to kind of explore your entrepreneurial interests. Maybe you'll tell us a little bit about that and how it's helping you with your program, or how your program is impacting on those, your other hopes and dreams and business opportunities.
Yeah, so I also run a company called Mirror, where we make touchscreen smart mirrors, and a lot of that is R&D, developing tech, and it has a huge overlap with my course. And I was lucky enough to take part in Enterprise Ireland's New Frontiers Phase 2, ran out of TU Dublin last year. So for 6 months, I was part of that alongside my degree, and with the company, the overlap made it much more manageable, because if I was trying to do it and Mirror wasn't a tech company, or I wasn't doing an engineering degree, I would have been, signed up for 24-hour work days. And between that, and I also took part in the Bolton Trust, which is a TU trust. They had a student enterprise competition last year, and we won a couple innovation awards and stuff from that. And we've had, as an individual outside of my college study, TU has given me a good few opportunities that I've happily taken.
Good. And Jack, I was interested, you were very clear about the area of engineering you wanted to go into, and I know mechatronic engineering for you was your first choice. You might tell people a little bit about how you did your research, when you were trying to find out, was this the course for you? I thought you had an interesting way of approaching your research.
Yeah, so initially I saw the course and wanted to find out more info that wasn't particularly from lecturers. So I went onto LinkedIn and searched the course and looked for people who had graduated from it or were actually currently taking part in it, and went and emailed about 30 people, messaged them on LinkedIn. If they didn't respond, I'd find other ways to reach out, and just kind of used their active experience to find out whether or not it was the course for me. But I did that for this course, and lucky enough, it fit the bill straight away, so I didn't have to go around other ones. But I think between that and just extensive reading on the topic, looking up, the TU site has this really nice thing where it shows you your modules. So I could actually check against the modules to make sure everything there was stuff I was interested in too.
To do, and I think that's an interesting point, because sometimes people are very clear. If you want to be a pilot or you want to be a teacher, you can guide your way and see what the career is going to be like. Sometimes people don't know what they want to be, but what we would say to them is concentrate on what it is you want to study. Look at the modules, look at the type of activities you'll be engaged in. Think about how practical the course is. You'd spend quite a bit of time in labs, wouldn't you, Jack? It's not like big lecture theatres. Maybe you describe what a typical day is like.
Yeah, my days are pretty spread out. So normally when I go in, I'm only in for 1 or 2 labs. But I think I was in a lecture hall on my first day when we got our timetable, and that was it. I've been in labs or workshops since. So generally I'd come in, do my 2 labs, go over to Blanchardstown, come back, do anything that's left, and head home. It's pretty convenient. I like being in a lab. I think I'd go mental in a lecture theatre.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's interesting. And I know, Gillian, you referred earlier to the practical nature of your course. So very different, sports management and coaching. But maybe you describe in a little bit more detail what that practical element means for you when you were coming in to study every day.
Yeah, so the practical elements was either we did a couple of semesters of going on into primary schools, coaching kids, coaching various sports, and as well as including kind of gym-based coaching, which is something that I had a huge interest in. So we kind of did a lot of different elements. Some of the modules that I researched beforehand kind of took my fancy from the start was plyometrics, Olympic lifting, other things like we would do like biometric testing, kind of getting to know the body and stuff like that. Yeah, that's kind of the practical elements that was within sports management and coaching.
Yeah, very good. And I know we have a query in from somebody who's asking specifically about computing courses in Tallaght, and we don't have a student from computing with us at the moment, but we will take note of your details. And maybe it's Precious Ade. Precious, if you want to send your details to courses@tudublin.ie, we will maybe run this session again and get a computing student. If people do like this format and are interested in hearing from the students, we'll run it again and we'll try and have maybe a computing student or someone who's done some aspect of computing. But if you want to mail courses@tudublin.ie, we'll make sure to talk to you and get back to you about any questions that you have. There, I'm managing to multitask at the moment now and read the comments and talk to the students. So that's interesting. And Gillian, I'm going to come to Shalini in a minute, but I just wanted to ask one more thing that we talked about before was how you did your research. So Jack went and reached out to people on LinkedIn, and he really wanted to hear from students who'd done the program. What did you do to suss out if sports management and coaching was for you?
So a big thing for me was actually going out and seeing what the campus was like. Like we all have these ideas in our head what college is like, and you see kind of your DCUs and your Trinities, and you see that they're these big vast places, but not every campus is the same. So I kind of made it my business to go out and actually see the campus. Now I know with like COVID and stuff that it's difficult for people, or some people might be stressed out getting buses and stuff like that. So a great thing that we kind of had this year was a lot of virtual tours. Like we did, us in the sports department back in September did a virtual tour of all of the sports facilities, which was it was really in depth what we did back in September. For the virtual tours, which was something that just coming out onto campus was something really important for me, to really see what everything was like, what the different facilities were like. So that was a huge thing for me, really seeing what the kind of class sizes were, as well as the different buildings that were there as well.
And it has been hard for people, I think, with COVID. We did have an open day, and we managed to have one in Blanchardstown, one in Grangegorman early in November, and then unfortunately the restrictions changed, so the Tallaght event had to go online, as did the Ainger Street event. But we are really hoping that when we come into the spring that we will be able to open up for on-site events again, and I think that is really, really important for people. Shalini, you talked about something interesting there, which was all your interests, and you had a lot of choice because there were a lot of things you were interested in, but you weren't quite sure what you wanted to be or what you wanted to work at. And I'm also interested in, what research you did to maybe make that choice and to put down your choices. And I am interested as well in that you had a difference of opinion with your parents. And there may be some parents listening in tonight as well. And I think that's kind of interesting as well, is I know they're probably concerned and worried. So I suppose my question is, maybe tell us a little bit about how you finally made your decision, and maybe if you had advice for parents who might be concerned that their son or daughter isn't making the right choice, or maybe needs, you know, that they want to influence the decision? What advice would you have for parents out there?
I think for parents, I'd say, like, for example, some of my friends, their parents were quite, I'd say, forceful on what they want their kids to become. So some of my friends' parents were saying, "Oh, you have to do medicine, you have to get 600 points, or you have to go into engineering or some kind of higher points course." And I think that just puts unnecessary pressure on the student, because they might be passionate about something and they might decide to go for a course that they're not interested in just for the sake of their parents. And that might be okay for like a year or so, but later on they'll have to continue in that career most likely, and that'll be very challenging for them if they have to choose a path that they're not passionate about. So I think that's a big sort of like worry that would be out there when it comes to leaving cert, because of course you'd respect your parents and try to listen to them. And I have a few friends that did get into medicine and they're not happy with their course. They find it extremely difficult and they're not interested either. And I think instead of regretting a course that you choose, it's better to just go with what you're actually interested in. Yeah, I think your opinion matters at the end of the day, not if your best friend chose a course or if your parents want you to do a course. So points don't really matter, because just because a course has higher points, it doesn't mean that it's better over other courses. There might be a course with just like 300 points and it might be amazing compared to one that's 500. So I think you have to be wise when it comes to that. But at the end of the day, it's not like the end of the world or something if you go into the wrong course. You can always have alternate choices and you can choose a different course too.
Exactly. And I mean, Ashley would be able to contest to that as well, in terms of, you were quite sure, Ashley, what you did want to do. You were successful, you were offered a place on a course, and it just didn't turn out to be what you wanted it to be.
Yeah, and I'm a good example that it's not the end of the world, because it wasn't what I wanted it to be, and that's okay. It didn't gel with me, and that's also okay. And it's also okay to realize that and decide that it's not for you. So I did that, and it was the best decision I made. So
and Ashley, I'm interested there in is there an aspect of your study in your life at TU Dublin that really works for you, that compared to where you studied in, you know, a kind of a university with larger classes and things like that? I'm just wondering, what is it about TU Dublin that was different that made it work for you?
So it's definitely, the smaller classes definitely do have a big impact on people. My class at currently, I think we started off at about 60 people. Now that does lower as the years go on. Some people leave with their level 7, some people continue on. So I have about 40 people in my class now. I find that it's just easier to ask questions. It's easier to keep up with your work. You form like lifelong like connections with your lecturers, which is really strange, because in other universities you might never talk to your lecturer because there's so many people in your class. But in TU Dublin, it's just, they're smaller, you get more friends, and because I'm in social care, I'm surrounded by people who love people, so that also makes it a lot easier. So it's very friendly and open, easy to ask questions, and it's a really good course.
Great, very good. That's brilliant. That's great. And I know we've had a couple of people ask about applied social care, applied social studies in the chat, and it's offered on 3 campuses. It's offered in Tala, in Blanchardstown, and in Grangegorman. So and I think that's the thing about TU Dublin. As we said, we've 166 courses on the CAO. You need to investigate the courses that are on offering and what campus is convenient for you. And convenience is important for people, I think, as well, because you do want to have an opportunity for a life outside college. You know, you want to maybe have a part-time job, you know, so you need for that balance. It is important that you can get to where you're hoping to study. And in terms of your parents as well, I think it is important to have discussions about what you're applying for, so that they're aware of your plans. And as Shalini says, we're all trying to be respectful of each other. But if you're going to maybe rely on your parents' to fund your studies, they do need to be involved. You know, are you thinking about moving out of home? Are you going to pay for accommodation? What are the transport costs going to be? So there are some practical conversations that you have to have as well. But as Shalini says, and to any parents out there, please don't be forceful because ultimately it's your son or daughter is going to be going to college every day and making the commitment to do their studies. So look, we're coming up. We're at we've about 7 minutes left, and we've had a lot of discussions with our students, and we've had a chance to hear their very unique insights from the different programs that they're doing. So I wonder, Linda, is there anything coming up in the chat that you'd like to maybe join us and discuss with our students?
There seems to be quite a lot of questions around individual courses coming up here. What I would say to students who want to find out more about individual courses, I mean, it is still early in the year, and this is obviously a virtual event, and we won't have the opportunity to have every student on. But we will have more events in early spring, maybe in summer again. So you'll have plenty of opportunity to talk to students. And guys, there is we have a number of digital ambassadors as well that are there for you to chat to at any time. And if you want to find out more about them, I might just show you them, guys, so that you can see what they look like. They're called Uni Buddies, and these are them here. They're just on our website. You can see there, tudublin.ie/study/chat. And there are students from different courses there that, you know, if you're, for example, interested in planning and environmental management, chat with Dean, ask him about the course. Or maybe if you see that Dean is in Bolton Street and you want to find out more about Bolton Street, it's not necessarily the course, you can do that. Caitlin's doing architectural technology, and Queensley's doing biomedical science, etc. So there's lots of students on there. You can message them and they will get back to you within 24 hours. So they mightn't get back to you straight away, but they will get back to you in 24 hours. And there's about 55 to 60 of the students up there that you can chat to anytime between now and filling out your CAO form. And it might just be the difference between choosing something or not. So I definitely, you know, say have a look at that. There was also a lot of questions around minimum entry requirements. I might ask one of the students, like, how clear did you understand the minimum entry requirements when you were coming to college? Maybe I'll ask Gillian that.
Yeah, so I remember like my guidance counsellor just saying, make sure when you're reading through the CAO page or like the page and the prospectus, make sure that you read absolutely everything. For I now it was ages ago when I applied for the CAO, so I can't really remember, but I made sure that like I knew exactly what the minimum entry requirements were, and if I were to say on the day I wasn't feeling good or I needed to change my levels on the day, I made sure that it wouldn't affect my entry requirements. So I made sure that I checked it 3-4 times before I even made any decision. No, like I kind of made no rash decisions, if that makes sense.
Yeah, very good. And just to kind of say, TU Dublin, we don't require a third language at TU Dublin, and I know some of the universities do. So actually, you know, we only actually require English or Irish as your qualification coming in. And then for some of our science programs, you may need to have a science subject, or for some of our language programs, you may need to have a language program. Or you may need to have a language program. But outside of that, like I see a question there from one of the students saying, you know, do I need to have experience in business or whatever? Absolutely not. Business is not a minimum entry requirement coming into college. So if you're coming in to study business, or if you're coming in to study computing or anything like that, you're starting from scratch in university. Okay, so just to kind of reiterate that, you know, the minimum entry requirements are generally the English, Irish and maths. And once you kind of have those and the points, then you're kind of flying. Just to pick up on something that you said, Shalini, and I thought that it was quite interesting about the points and about high points. Just to reiterate again, points are set by the students, okay? And you might think to yourself, oh, how is that? points are set by how popular a course is on a particular year. So points go up and down, and they go up and down regularly. So actually, the more of a program that there is, and actually, Ashley, your course is a really good example, because TU Dublin are very lucky to offer five programs in social care. So there's a lot of programs even just in TU Dublin in social care, and that would mean that the points are lower because there's much more places to get into the course. Whereas if you have something like dietetics, for example, I know a student mentioned that, there's hospital placement within that program, and that means that even though we could probably take 100 students on dietetics, the hospitals cannot take 100 students on placement. And that's why medicine is so hard to get into. Again, it's all about the hospital placement. You know, of course, like it's still very difficult, but you know, that's why points tend to be high sometimes, particularly in the medical area, because of hospital placement. There's only so many hospitals in Ireland that we can place them on. Yeah. So just remember that, exactly what you said, Shalini. There could be courses in there around 300 that are absolutely phenomenal and, you know, absolutely brilliant courses, lots of very, very successful students. So don't let the points sway you. Let the points, you know, let the thing that you really want to study be the thing that sways you. So look, I think we have kind of been through a lot, and just to mention, there are a lot of questions in the chat there. My colleagues have done their best to answer as many of them as they can. But what we will do is we will go back over these after the event. We'll make sure that everyone, every single student is answered, and we will send these out on an FAQ document so that you can look back at them and on your question. For mature students on here, we are having a mature student event. It is a little bit more of a complicated process for mature students when filling out their CAO. So we are going to do a specialist mature event on the 26th of January. So if there's any mature students on here, again, you can book the event, the mature student event, on the same page you book this, tudublin.ie/open day. So what we're going to do as we summarise and leave you is, we are going to give you what we see as the formulas for success for students. When it comes to filling out your CAO form, think about your interests, okay? Think about what you love. Think about the type of person that you are. Are you introverted? Are you extroverted? Would you like to work outdoors? Would you like to sit at a desk? You know, do you enjoy people? Do they give you energy? Or are you maybe a little bit quieter and you like to, you know, maybe have that little bit more peace? All of these different things are going to really you know, make a difference in terms of your career and in terms of the course that you choose. You know, are you interested in sport, for example? Are you interested in music, drama? Are they your thing? You know, maybe you're thinking about studying drama, but maybe you're not thinking about going into, you know, acting. Maybe you're thinking about working in the background. There's lots of different careers that you can make from a degree. And you'll also notice at TU Dublin, we have a lot of management degrees linked with a programme. So things like business management, hospitality management, and they really have core modules for students that allow them to work in so many different areas because they're carrying all those competencies across from one area to the other. So really think about your interests, what you like, you know, because guys, the saying goes, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Also think strategy. We mentioned this a little bit earlier on, and you know, as somebody who works in admissions and does the offers and talks to parents, students after the offers every single year, I am giving you these tips so that you don't fall down and make the same mistakes maybe as some other students have. I can tell you, I have seen some excellent students with absolutely no offer in round one of the CAO, and that is because they have not maximised their CAO form. They've maybe filled out 2 or 3 level 8s, and they haven't really thought around other opportunities to get what they want, and they're very disappointed. So my suggestion to you is strategically fill out your CAO form using every single slot on that form, okay? We talked to you a little bit about how you fill it out there earlier on, but make sure, for example, if you want to get into marketing as a career, put it down at level 6, 7 and 8. you know, if you're not 100% what you want to do in your career, think about maybe something that you like in school. What do you enjoy in school? Are you interested in business in school? Business is a very versatile area, guys. And when you come to TU Dublin, we have general programs where you can, you know, you can actually come in and kind of try lots of different things and then specialize in the future. So also look for those general programs if if you're feeling a bit lost about what you really want. So you really need to think about the strategy there. Also think about the progression routes, guys. Progression is a serious opportunity for students to get what they want, okay? And we have progression on every single course in the university. And guys, don't forget that, for example, if you want to be a teacher and you've missed out very slightly, maybe come and study early childhood care and education and do teaching at master's level. There's lots of different options for you to do things. Or maybe go off and do your PLC course and come to us the next year. We have great PLC programs in this country, and very, very successful students come from QQI programs, PLC programs as they were formerly called, into the university. And for students who've done a QQI program, they're prepared. They've already done the first step into college, the environment, what it's like, managing your work, managing your assignments, etc. So they're very successful when they come to university. So, that's just another key thing to think about, when filling out your CAO form. And finally, I would say to you, think, ask, okay? And you're saying to yourself, what does that mean? What I mean by that is, ask everyone you know about, your sister's friend around the corner went to TU Dublin, ask her about it. Your sister or your cousin did a course in business, ask them what it was like. Because the more people you ask, the better decision that you can make. Ask our students, our digital students online there, come to our open days. If you're deciding on a course and you're thinking about it, come along to the campus, have a little bit of a walk through, see, always how do I feel? Do I feel at home here? But mostly ask us. So at TU Dublin, we are here to assist you, whether it be a question about minimum entry requirements, whether it be a question about a campus, anything. We invite you to ask us. So if you have a further question, email us at courses@tudublin.ie. And guys, there's plenty of information on our website as well. Each of our undergraduate pages has a little ask button on it. And if you hit that, you can have a chat with one of our team about the course or about whatever you want. But the more research you do at the front end, the better it will be for you, and it will allow you to make a better decision and think if it fits in with your personality, your life, and what you want to do. And guys, lastly, I would say to you is, at the end of the day, like one of our students there, if you choose something and it doesn't go according to plan, it's not the end of the world. Education is lifelong. You can come back to us at any time in your life. Many of your parents have probably come back to us, as adults, etc. But guys, there's plenty of opportunities out there for you, more than ever. So we wish you the very best of luck in your Leaving Cert, whatever way it does go this year. And we hope to see some of you with us in September. So thank you very much.